Here's how to enable 120 FPS on your Nintendo Switch 2. Now, the first thing you guys have to make sure is that whatever game you're trying to play actually supports 120 FPS, because a lot of games for the Switch 2 still don't support 120 FPS, so we do have to wait for that to update. For example, if you're playing Minecraft, and for you guys to understand, this is what I mean. Let's say that you're playing, for example, a game like Minecraft, and it doesn't really matter which game you're playing. If you're playing Minecraft, you want to go over to the settings, for example, and if you're on a different game, just head over to the video settings, and then make sure that the frame rate limit is set to the maximum in here. As you can see, I have it on 60 FPS. So if I want to get 120 FPS on Minecraft, I actually have to put it on unlimited here. I have to move that up a little bit to frame rate unlimited so I could get 120 FPS out of Minecraft. Now, after you have set up your game to be to the maximum, what you want to do is head over to the system settings down here on your Nintendo Switch 2. And then in here, you want to scroll down all the way to display down here. And then you want to scroll a little bit more down and you want to make sure that you have 120 Hertz output enabled. Now, what this means is that if your TV or your monitor is 120 Hertz or more, it will allow you to run games that are compatible again at 120 FPS. Now, even though Hertz and FPS are different, what this pretty much means is that if your TV is 120 Hertz, it will allow you to see 120 frames per second if the game allows it. Now, make sure you turn that on. And also, when you have your dock connected, and I have my dock right here, when you have your dock connected to your TV or your monitor, make sure you're using the original HDMI cable that came with your Switch 2 or an HDMI that supports 120 Hertz at least. Now, it is also recommended that you enable auto low latency mode. That is going to allow the TV to go into game mode if the TV allows it, and most TVs that have game modes also have 120 Hertz allowed, so that will mean that it will run at 120 Hertz. Thus, if your game is 120 FPS, it will show on the TV as well. Now, again, the most important part in here is that the game that you're trying to play allows you to play at 120 FPS, and also that your TV supports it and that you set it up properly on the TV, not only on the Switch. If this video helped you out, guys, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.